Well, good evening. I'm so glad to see at least 90% are still here. Usually at the end of a conference, most make a beeline to go back. So thank you for staying on. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is going to do a live demonstration of what can be done for parametric insurance, right? So maybe you can show on the screen. Now, basically, you can see that now, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is what we call a WorkSight Weather Risk Calculator. Okay, so take for example, imagine this scenario: you are somewhere in the US, as an example, and you're going to build a small little building, right? Or you're going to do some renovation, and you want to know during that particular time, would you have your work disrupted? So take for example the first one. Let's say you think that wind will be your biggest problem, so you click wind. Okay, and then you set the duration from when to when, right? So in this case, we set from 8th of September to the 14th. Not doing too big an overhaul, to the 14th, right? Okay. The next thing is you've got to pick where in the US you are located. So I think my colleagues at the comms, they picked one place, right? And when you pick one location, you start downloading all the data, wind speed data for that location. It takes a while, right, for weeks data, but if you're actually looking about 1 month and all that, it's going to take a lot longer to download it. So it depends on the speed and all that. So now, we have put a trigger of, you can see that 25 miles per hour. You can change that at any point of time. If you feel that, look, my building construction methodology is very tough, 100 miles per hour, no problem, right? And that will be actually the thing that affects me. So we put 25, for example. You're free to adjust it anywhere. You're also free to adjust any location within the US. Of course, we can do this also anywhere else in the world, right? I'm dribbling on is because it's taking the data a long time to come down, right? So now the data is ready, so you check the data. Okay, I think we can go to the very last page. So, yep, click that, thank you. Now this is a summary, right, of the risk itself, right? If you're building a little building or doing some renovation in the US at that particular location. So the summary will tell you, number one, I think it finally shows up, the location, the wind speed that you are using as a trigger, and what are the odds within these 7 days that you have disrupted work because the wind speed is beyond 25 miles per hour. Usually I think this will take about 2-3 minutes, right? So it downloads basically 30 years worth of weather data. Okay, next one please. Yeah, so it downloads 30 years of weather data, particularly wind speed in this case because we pick wind. Earlier on you could pick rain, you could pick any other thing, right? So you pick wind. So the first part you can see the wind peril, the date, from which day to which day. You can see that from 8th of September to the 14th of September. And the location, we just basically randomly pick the location, right? This site is actually online. I mean, if you all want to try it at home, just go to the site and then plug in some numbers and the figures will come up, right? Okay, so possibility of days of work is 7, right? From 8 to the 14, right? And on the right-hand side, threshold is 25 miles per hour. Anything above 25 miles per hour, we consider it as disrupted work, okay? Okay, so you can see below. On a 30th data basis, right? Odds are you probably have, let's say, worst case scenario, 6 days of work disrupted. Okay? On a 20-year scenario, 6, best case scenario 1, you get the idea, right? It actually works out what are the odds of it. So you know whether you really need to buy a cover or not buy a cover, and also at what speed, right? So parametric insurance works purely on data. There's no loss assessment, nothing of the nature, somebody going to check whether there's damage and all that. You buy a cover to say 25 miles per hour at that particular location from this date to this date. If it triggers, it pays. It pays, as simple as that. Within a week or two, the money will just go to your account. Now it may sound a bit preposterous in some ways, right? That, how come there's no loss assessment, etc. and all that? It's because a lot of background work has been done to make sure that it matches your previous historical losses. Okay, so this is called WorkSight, WorkSight, and dClimate. So you can Google it out. If you're free this evening, plug in a few numbers and try it out, right? If you have any questions, of course, please ask me.